Hello and welcome everyone to another StarCraft 2 England cast. Today I have got a game from the Antec Attack tournament. It's the 19th one they've done. It's cast every Wednesday. I do it live. It's at 6:30 British time on the EU, so I go live on the D-Esports stream for the kind of quarterfinals onwards. So do check that out. It's awesome. I mean, there's some really high-end players. This week we had the likes of Empire Happy, Empire Cass, TSL Hyen. Last week we had TSL Revival as well. We've had White Row on there. There's some good people. I mean, it's for €200, so you do get quite a lot of players coming in, just giving it a go. So it's always worth checking out. Today's game, it's a best of three. It's a quarter-final game. It's between aTnClouD and AiCytoplasm. So it is a ZVT. We'll probably see a 15 hatch out of Cytoplasm into a 16 pool because that's the standard thing to do. Cloud, well, it depends what he's really feeling like. On Antigua, this natural base is okay to hold. The third base is quite difficult to take though, especially for Terran. There's these rocks at the back. It can be a bit awkward. Meanwhile, Cytoplasm has quite an easy time taking his third base. It's not too difficult. But a fourth base, well, then you get problems. Fourth bases on this map are a nightmare. Worth pointing out, it's the GSL version, so a supply depot, force cross spawn positions as well. So definitely keep that in mind. These players know where they are. That's why the Overlord is going straight across rather than anywhere else. So far no gas out of Cloud at all, so my money's going to be on a 1-Rax command center build, which is getting more and more to be the metagame because every Terran knows every Zerg is going to 15 hatch, so that means they're not going to put on pressure early, so why don't I just take my base and then put the Zerg in the awkward position of having to take a third base, which on some maps is a bit awkward with Hellions or anything like that, any kind of marine pressure early on, that can be a bit of a pain. So will be interesting to see what Cloud does. The fact there is still no gas is making me think there's definitely going to be a command center, especially the amount of banked up minerals there. It'll be interesting to see whether he builds on the high or low ground. If he does go for that, I mean, I could just be wrong, but it's definitely looking like it's going to be a command center build. Anyway, we will see down here the spawning pool's on its way down. That was at 16, and it is going to be a command center on the low ground. So everything is going just as I thought it would so far. What do I reckon Cloud's going to do? Well, we'll probably see reactor Hellions at some point because that's a pretty standard thing to still do. I mean, the Queen range has made it a lot easier to defend, but I mean, hell, Antigua is like the easiest map to harass with Hellions on because this is so wide. There's just all of this space. There's all of this space. There's just so much room to cover. The Hellions can just be a complete nightmare. Anyway, so we will see the double gas coming down here by Cloud, and that is a big tell that he's going to go up to some tech play fairly soon after this. And my money is on the reactor Hellions because his only other option is just to go straight tank marine, and that means you're kind of just allowing the Zerg player to drone up, which is never something you really want to do. But we will see one marine coming up here. And it's going to get a good scout off to see what's going on. There's no Zerglings at all being produced yet for Cytoplasm, so that is pretty crazy. If we look at the worker count though, currently Cytoplasm's slightly ahead, but once this second command center's done, well, that means the Cloud's going to be able to keep up quite nicely, and really if he starts putting on pressure, then Cytoplasm's going to be in a bit of an awkward spot. Meanwhile, let's just have a look around. I mean, neither player's doing anything too amazing, so I'll use this time to do a quick shout out for, well, firstly the Twitters. Firstly, follow me on Twitter because I put all my games up there. I like to get the interaction. It is at SC2_England. Also, if you're watching this on the playlist on my channel of all the VODs, well, you'll probably notice on quite a lot of them, I do have a co-caster who's Puri. The reason he's not in all of them is because the games happen simultaneously and we can only obviously cast one of them at a time, so any we miss I fill in myself just to make a complete VOD section. So do check out Puri, which is at PuriDude, which is PUGHYDDE. Also check out Definitive Esports or D-Esports. All the details are in the info below this video, so do check that out. If you liked the video, give it a thumbs up. Check out the rest of the games from Antec Attack because they are really amazing, so definitely give them a watch. I'm just having a quick look around here. We will see the Cloud. He's getting up a Starport. He's got that reactor Hellions coming out now, so maybe a Hellion drop or something like that, or actually no, what he's going for, Tech Lab in the Starport as well. I reckon it's going to be Banshees, which can be really quite difficult for a Zerg player to deal with, this Hellion Banshee harass. It's like, well, I know one of them really irritates Zerg, so let's just get both, and then that'll just really do their head in. But these first two Hellions are on their way over the field now, and really, it'll be interesting to see if they wait, because there are these 2 extra queens. The third base is halfway done as well for Cytoplasm now, and I love getting these extra queens out early. I think it's such an effective process to use. You get great creep spread. It means you're safe from things like Hellions. He's actually even got a 5th queen out now, so these Hellions aren't going to do much at all because there's just so many queens. But they will see the creep spread moving forward, and this is what the change to the queens has allowed, is that with the additional range, queens can just be like, yeah, well, we're going to keep creep spreading regardless of your Hellions. 2 more are on the way. The first Banshee's on its way out as well now, and the queens are going to force those Hellions back. We've got a bit of SimCity going on here with some extra Evos. Well, the first 2 Evos coming out, so double upgrades are on the way for Cytoplasm. Meanwhile, down at Cloud's base, well, he's getting up a 3rd command center super early. He knows the timing of this, that it did come out. Meanwhile, the Banshee, where is that Banshee? Where is it hiding? I know it's out here somewhere, but if I can see it, it would be a miracle. But somewhere there is a Banshee floating around being irritating. But as of right now, on this minimap, I have no clue. There we go. I found the Banshee. So this is always good. So now really, Cytoplasm, he's got a bit of an issue, because there are these, well, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 Hellions and 3 queens. There are some spines coming down, but obviously the Banshee's just going to come out the back and start picking off drones, and the queens are really then going to have to decide, well, are we going to take out the Banshee, or are we going to defend against these Hellions? So the Banshee's going straight for that queen there, and really that will win a one-on-one fight very, very comfortably. So the other queens are having to be pulled back, but that is going to allow the Hellions to come up into the third base, and lots of drones getting lined up here. This is a lot of drones getting taken out very, very quickly. Meanwhile, if you take a look up here, the Banshee is taken down, but really that Banshee's added as a distraction, and all of the drones as a third have been taken out. That is huge, huge losses. The Hellions are going to get boxed in though, so, I mean, Cloud is going to lose them all, but he killed 14 workers, which is no small amount, and this has allowed him to get his third base up behind it. He's now switching into Tank Marine. The 1-1 upgrades coming out for both players right now, so that is looking pretty good. If we look at the work count, it's now 49 to 56 it just got to, but when you take mules into account, that is very, very close. Cloud did an amazing job there, and essentially, well, Cytoplasm's got to catch back up with his drone production. I mean, the only thing I would have liked to have seen is, well, not to have lost that Banshee, because that was a bit of a shame, but good work by Cytoplasm blocking in those Hellions. That was a lovely little move there. And we will see here the Marines and tanks are moving out, just ready to take that third base. Siege mode only just starting now. So the armory coming out as well here for Cloud, so he is going to be able to get those 2-2 upgrades as soon as it's done. More production facilities on their way out. Only the 1 factory at the moment as far as I can see, so that is slightly, well, it just means he's not going to have too many tanks, a lot more heavily focused on Marines. And Cytoplasm actually banking up an awful lot of gas. We'll be interested to see what he does with that. He's only just starting his lair now, so that is really getting a bit late. He's getting the banelings out, and really if he does big Ling Bling push, it could be really effective, but that lair timing is really late. I mean, we're coming up to 11 minutes. I mean, it's not uncommon to see some Zerg players get hive by 12, so that's pretty crazy. Essentially, though, Cytoplasm's in a tough spot now because he's on equal bases with Cloud, and he needs to do a lot. He needs to do something really, really big to basically stop Cloud capitalizing on being on equal bases, because Cytoplasm can't really take a 4th easily. I mean, he's even put creep tumors on the center 4th, which is a bit of an odd decision, but he is going to go and actually try and secure this 4th base. Now, this is really his only choice of where to go, but as you can see, it's a mile away. Literally such a long distance away from his own kind of other 3 bases that defending it could be a bit of a pain. I expect him to put down some spines and spores just to be sure. The creep spread is fantastic though, and I mean this is from the bonus queens early on. He's just got so many creep tumors absolutely everywhere. He's in a great spot. The supplies are very, very equal. 2-2 upgrades are on the way down for both players. The +1 vehicle attack coming down as well now for Cloud, and really both these players are really ramping it up. A double spire coming out, so this is saying Broodlords. The infestation pit also on its way. Broodlords, well, double air upgrades will be coming out. And this is starting to become a very sizable army here for Cytoplasm, who has got an extortionate amount of gas. Like, seriously, 1500 gas sitting there, and that's going to be crazy. He could pump out 15 mutas straight away. He could do lots of stuff, but I expect him to get double upgrades, start the hive really, really early, and go straight into Broodlord type play. And essentially, well, Cloud, does he have the stuff to deal with mass Broodlords? No, he's only got this 1 reactor starport. He'd need to add on another one to get the Viking counts up enough to be able to deal with it. We do have Baning speed on his way out. There goes the hive, so as I thought, we're going to see a rush to Broodlords for Cytoplasm here. He's getting those pathogen glands, so infested Broodlords are on the way. A big ball of Banelings and Zerglings in the centre of the map here are ready to deal with everything. The 4th base up and running here for aCytoplasm. He's got the creep, it's spreading everywhere. Essentially, this is just brilliant play by aCytoplasm at the moment. Cloud, he's looking in a good spot. It looks like he's getting geared up to move out right now. I mean, he's got a good army. He's got a good amount of tanks. He's starting up his 4th command center here now, so this is definitely good. Now, really, if he just keeps moving forward, he's got to push this creep back. And this is the other advantage of the creep. It's an early warning system. Now aCytoplasm knows exactly what's going on. He can start building more spines and spores around this 4th base just to defend it in case Cloud does decide to swing down there. He's also getting up to 1-1, up flyer upgrades, he's getting burrow, he's getting 2-2 upgrades. 2-2 just finished now for Cloud, as has that +1 vehicle weapons. So this is kind of a perfect time to engage because those tanks will one-shot Zerglings and Banelings at the moment. The creep is being taken out everywhere. Cloud is just like, no, you are not having that much creep. We've got massive Zergling Baneling counterattack coming in, but there are still tanks in defense, which will clean it up. And because the +2 carapace isn't done, they do get one-shotted, and one-shot rather, and that is never fun. A double drop going on here. The 4th base looks like he could get taken out. There is one Infestor down here, and Infestors are going to be really good against this army. The medevac numbers are really, really low, and some big fungal growths will be absolutely huge. But this drop at the 4th is getting cleaned up very, very easily there, but a good pickup. Only one medevac full of Marines was taken down. And we will see here, Cloud is in a really dominated spot. He's just moving forward very, very carefully, very, very systematically, trying to get himself in a good position. But we will see a drop going off in the main. All the Zerglings are being pulled back, and that should get cleaned up. The medevac goes down to the Queens, but still Cloud has contained aCytoplasm so well here. And it'll be interesting to see if he just goes and takes out this base. There are a lot of Banelings here, though. He needs to be careful because a big Baneling here on those Marines would not be nice. 3-3 upgrades started for both players. And the greatest part on the way out for aCytoplasm at the moment. Big Baneling hits go down and just annihilate that push. But now this 4th base is undefended apart from the static defense. And Cloud has positioned his army in a way that he will not be able to reinforce that 4th anytime soon. The production coming out for both players is pretty sick. More starports being added on. I don't know if this has been scouted by Cloud. No, it hasn't, so it's kind of an assumption the Broodlords are on the way, but with these 2 additional starports in production, he's going to be able to get a Viking count up hugely quickly, and with that, just be able to completely decimate a Broodlord army. A big Zergling counterattack is on its way through, though. This could pick off a lot of reinforcements. Will be spotted, but the Marines are on a move command or an attack command, but great reactions there from Cloud. The bunkers, the supply depots do go up. Bunkers are empty, but there is just so many Zerglings here, and this is forcing Cloud to pull back all of his army to come and defend this because this is an awful lot of Zerglings, and they are going to make their way into the 3rd, and there's going to be a huge amount of SCVs deaths here. It's just not going to be nice at all, but I mean, Cloud has pulled back all of his armies to defend. The downside, of course, though, is aCytoplasm has lost his 4th base. He's now stuck on equal bases still. If you take a look at the worker count, it's 69 to 71. When you take mules into account, that is not close. Planetary Fortress in the center base here. Cloud is now a base up. He is in such a great spot. My only concern for Cloud is those 3-3 haven't quite finished yet. What's his Viking numbers like? He's only got 2 on the field. He really needs to ramp up that Viking production because there's a lot of Broodlords here, and if he doesn't get those up quickly, he's going to have issues. But once the 3-3 upgrades are done for the Terran Infantry, Marines are going to completely melt through those Broodlords. But obviously there are those Infestors there. aCytoplasm, he's really missing a lot of spines. He needs to start building his spine forest. This 4th base of aCytoplasm looking a little dangerous. The Cloud has got a good position here. He's sort of up to the side, which isn't ideal. He needs some reinforcements down just at the back there, and the Broods are going to go for it. Cloud is now looking like he's going to be in a bit of problems. The Marines are running straight up to try and, well, do as much damage as they can because he's got no way to engage this Broodlord army. The tank's getting completely decimated nearly instantly. Meanwhile, we will see all the Marines here for Cloud getting cleaned up by Zerglings. These Zerglings are 2-2 against 3-3 Marines, but still those Marines are struggling, but the medevac numbers still not stupidly high. The Zerglings are on the way back. The Broodlord force is coming as well, but this 3rd base for aCytoplasm looking like it's going to get picked off. The downside for Cloud, of course, is he's lost all of his tanks. A huge fungal growth goes off on all of those Marines there, and that is some big losses on its own. If we take a look at the loss tab, well, it's actually pretty even when you take into account that Zerg tend to trade less efficiently than Terran. We will see these Vikings are out though, and there's literally no way aside from infested Terrans to deal with this, but it wastes a lot of infestor energy, and really those Vikings need to get out there. You need to get those numbers a lot higher, and there are 4 Vikings in production at a time. Meanwhile, aCytoplasm is taking 3 additional bases, so that's going to put him up to 6 bases. He really should start looking to just expand everywhere because he's He can. He's got those Broodlords. He needs to start getting spines up everywhere to really deal with it, because Broodlord Infestor is the slowest army going. He's also adding on some more Queens, which is great because that gives you extra transfuses and is generally just nice times. So definitely worthwhile doing. There is a drop coming down, picking off this 6th and 5th base, and I don't actually think aTyToplasm is going to be able to get there in time to hold this off. He's more positioning himself to defend this 4th base, which of course is critical because it is being mined from. But we will see the Cloud is just moving his army. He's got some Thors there, Collector Edition Thors. They just look prettier. Meanwhile, these Zerglings will clean up this drop, and Cloud is really maxed out now. So he needs to come up with a good way to deal with this. Those Thors are going to be quite effective. Obviously, the tanks are taken out because once Broodlords come into play, they can't siege up. Because the second you siege up tanks and broodlings start going everywhere, you start killing yourself. There's nothing more embarrassing than having your tanks kill your own tanks. But we will see this rock at the back of the 3rd base being taken out, but we will also see aTyToplasm moving forward with these Broodlords, and we're getting into a situation where it could almost be a base race. The 3rd base for aTyToplasm is definitely going down here, but there's just a lot of broods. That Planetary Fortress won't last long against such an onslaught, and while there are a couple of Thors there, most of Cloud's army is up just trying to take out aTyToplasm's base. Mass repairs going down on this Planetary Fortress, but you know what Broodlords can do? They can just keep shooting. Because they have an infinite supply of broodlings, which is just not fun, and the SCVs are slowly being picked off. The 4th base of Cloud is down. We will see coming into the natural base of aTyToplasm a huge army, and we're almost going into a base race situation here, but it's a base race that aTyToplasm will win because he's got bases far more spread out. But it looks like he's actually going to come back and try and defend this. And the Hive is down, that is critical. If the Great Spire goes down as well, that basically puts aTyToplasm back to the Stone Ages. But instead, it looks like he's going to focus down into the main base of aTyToplasm here. Focusing the hatchery, so really wants to hit production here, because obviously Cloud, he still has all his production. He's got a huge amount of bank remaining. And once the spawning pool goes down, that means no more Zerglings. A huge amount of infested Terrans are on their way out. There's so many Corruptors though. Corruptor Broodlords are pretty crazy, and there's nothing the Cloud has he can deal with this. I mean, the infested Terrans and Broodlings are just soaking up so much damage. The Thors are down, and this has been cleaned up very nicely by aTyToplasm. Meanwhile though, his 4th base has just got taken down. This is getting absolutely insane right now. This is such an incredible game. There is still the 5th base though, but we've got some Vikings and a couple of Marines coming in here, and all the drones, they're transferring right into this little bunch of Marine and Marauders. So many drones getting taken out there. That is absolutely sick. Meanwhile though, this Broodlord Corruptor Infestor army of aTyToplasm coming down to come and defend this. If we look, we do still have mining from the 3rd base and 1 mineral patch at the natural for Cloud, compared to, well, what is now no mining base for aTyToplasm. aTyToplasm has no income at all, which is never a good spot to be in. He's behind in supply, but the downside, of course, is Cloud's army is really isolated, especially this jump here. If I was Cloud, I'd use this single medevac to just basically try and lift stuff and get it down and join up the army, because he needs to engage this force directly, otherwise he's going to have big problems. Meanwhile, there is some fighting going on. What is even going on here? There's one Marauder up in there. We will see that aTyToplasm, he is going to just reposition this army, because this is a scary army. What is the count on it? Well, there's 9 Broodlords, 12 Corruptors, and 11 Infestors. That is no small force in the slightest, and it's something that Cloud really needs to work out how he's going to deal with. Cloud, he does have those 12 Vikings, but the Corruptors are going to cause problems. There are those 3 Thors, but they only do bonus damage to light, and now this little, well, group of army is like, well, I need to get back, I want to see my friends. And currently Cloud is just really isolated. His army in 2 is not where he wants to be, because ultimately aTyToplasm could use that to his advantage. Some good scans going off just to see exactly what's going on. These drones are going to come down and get decimated, but we'll point out to aTyToplasm, there's this little force stuck down there on its own, and it looks like aTyToplasm is going to capitalise on that. And really, what is Cloud going to do? He's going to go for the surround, and this is going to be a big engagement, but massive fungal growths go off absolutely everywhere, and there's just not enough medevacs, and this army is getting decimated. Fungal growth without medevac support is just not a nice engagement at all. And to be honest, Cloud's looking like he's having huge problems, but the Broodlords are just staying up. Transfuses going off on those Corruptors Broodlords as well. And really, while the supply counts look really similar, you've got to just remember what aTyToplasm has, which is a lot of Broods and a lot of Infestors. Meanwhile, some more fungal growth going off, and while Cloud is kind of ahead in terms of mining bases, he's got 2 up, aTyToplasm has just got this incredible tech army, and this is just not a fun engagement for him in the slightest. He is going forward, and he's going to just try and go for it, but aCytoplasm, he's actually getting behind in the supply count now briefly, but kind of those Brood Lords are able to take out the 4th base and clean up pretty much everything, and Cloud clearly not impressed with this. This is meant to be a best of 3, but he's just said he forfeits. And because I'm obviously casting this after the tournament's concluded, I can point out that while this was a best of 3, Cloud refused to play any more games. He was just like, no, I forfeit. It's stupid. So, if you did enjoy that game, which was so epic, please give it a thumbs up. Subscribe to my YouTube if you want to. It's youtube.com/Madals91, which is MADALS91. Also, Antec Attack every Wednesday, 6:30 PM British time on the EU server. Do check us out. I casted live on the D-Esports stream. You can find that on the Antec Attack websites on the side, on Team Liquid, all those sort of things. All the info is below the video in the info section, so do check that out. Thank you very much for watching, and tune in again. Bye for now.